How a maid became a princess. In the kingdom of Tarabat lived a king and the queen. The king was named King James and the queen was Charlotte. They had no children and therefore they decided to adopt a girl. But this girl was named Princess Catherine. But she was not the biological girl. She lived with them and grew up with them. Guess what? When she grew up, she was not in control. She was very, very naughty and she couldn't do a thing. Besides, she was very crazy and has no manners. Time came when they hired a princess from the kingdom of Latiba. The maid comes and starts to work. The little girl was asked where she grew up from, where she explained, and she said she grew up with her grandmother. Therefore, she started working, but she had magic and superpowers. She could also dream about the future. She could see easily things from the past. Hence thus becomes very, very close to the mother, the queen. They had a lot in common. But, however, how she was a princess that nobody knew about it. Let me tell you a beautiful story. Once upon a time lived a maid in the very kingdom of Tarabat. Then the king and his wife, the queen, had no child. The king was very frustrated and tired. Therefore, he decided to sleep with the maid. They had an affair. The maid left and ran away because she was scared that if they find out, they will kill her because she was not from the royal family. Therefore, she ran away when she was pregnant. Nobody got to see the baby she had in years and many years. Suddenly, she died of cancer. And the poor girl, stayed with her grandmother for a long time. There she couldn't feed or support herself. She starts to seek for a job where she went to the kingdom of Talabat. When she reached there, she started working in that family, not knowing that it was for her fathers. When she started having dreams about the future, predicting the future, let's say she was a seer, she became very, very close to the queen, let's say her stepmother. The queen liked her a lot, and the queen told the king that Melissa has a very, very special talent. Therefore, she was then given very, very special care, which her other maid became so furious of, and they started treating her bad, wondering why she's like that. Mean she just came to this palace, but now she's everyone's favorite. How comes? How is that possible? How? There, she started being a clause and therefore she becomes a part of the member cabinet of the royal family. The maid saw this as a very bad thing, that how could she be lifted that easily? They decide to poison her. so that she dies off because they were becoming so jealous of her. So one day, as the plan goes, they put poison in her food. Suddenly, the poor girl eats the food. Therefore, she loses control and she falls on the ground. But the king rushed her to the healer and they gave her treatment right away. When they did, they also told them that she she needs some blood. Nobody could give her. But when they checked her blood with the king, it was matching. Surprisingly, they had a lot in common and the blood was matching and they had this special connection. Remember, they rushed her to the hospital, but when they rushed her to the hospital and she fell, she had a necklace. In the necklace, there was a small photo inside of her mother. Shocked, the king asked the little girl, Melissa, "Who is this lady?" She replied, "My mom." The king was asking, "Where can I find the lady?" She said, "My mom is late." The king said, "Your mom?" She said, "Yes, my mom. I'm a nobody. She is the only one I had." And then she left me. The king shouted, "Rejoice, rejoice. I'm a father. Finally, I have a child. I have a child that I call my own." The king said, "Let's go for the celebration. This is so good. This is very good news." But unfortunately, when the queen mother heard about this news that the king had a child and it's their nanny, I mean the maid, she never liked it. She started to build a huge grudge on her and she felt terrible. She couldn't stand her. She started to be jealousy and she felt like the room is so small. Now the girl is taking over the power. I mean, she's taking over the love of the king. Therefore, the queen mother stopped loving Melissa. But the king started loving the Melissa so much. But Melissa not only had powers to dream about the future, but she could also see. She was a seer. This helped her a lot to win over the heart of everybody. So the queen mother was attacked by a disease and she couldn't know where it came from and what it was. So Melissa sees it upon touching her and Melissa healed her. She was very loved. And when the adopted daughter of the king returns from UK, she finds out that their maid back in the days is now the princess. She never liked it. She felt so bad and she locked herself in the room for days without eating and drinking. She started shouting because she thought that she is the only child. She saw Melissa as someone he's going to take away her fortune, her blessings, and her everything. She never liked her. But Melissa was very brilliant and wise girl, not only being a princess, but only a very merciful child. When she was going to marry, they brought the king from another kingdom of Janzi. When the king comes to the throne of this side, this adopted girl wanted to take him for herself, but it did not work. She tried so hard. When the thing couldn't work, she tried to kill Melissa, but Melissa was a very blessed girl, and so she won over everything. This is how she became a princess. And following the years, until now, she is the queen of Talabat.